author, it's our job to make readers feel something when they read our stories. But how do we create characters with big emotions without having them come across as over the top or melodramatic? The answer is to make those emotions realistic. It's important to make those emotions feel authentic and grounded in reality. When we think of emotions, we often think of extremes, right? Extreme anger, extreme sadness, extreme happiness. But in reality, emotions exist on a spectrum, and our characters should too. For example, instead of having a character fly off the handle in a fit of rage, think about what would realistically lead them to feel angry. Maybe they've been bottling up their frustration for weeks and finally they just hit their breaking point. Or maybe they love someone so much that when that person gets hurt, they struggle to deal with the injustice of it all. By exploring the nuances of a character's emotions, we can create more realistic and more relatable experiences for our readers. Maybe instead of having a character simply burst into tears, we can explore the reasons why they're feeling so overwhelmed. Perhaps they've just received devastating news, or they're struggling with a personal issue that's been weighing on them for a long time. By understanding the specific factors contributing to a character's emotions, we can make them feel more believable and relatable. Hi, authors. My name is Jennifer Carr, and I'm here to help you write more realistically through psychology. As an author, a marriage and family counselor, and a former high school AP psychology teacher, I have some insider information that can help you write better stories and more relatable characters. Now, we need to remember that big emotions don't happen in a vacuum. There are always external factors at play, whether it's the people in our characters' lives, the events unfolding around them, or their own personal histories. By understanding the context of a character's emotions, we can make them feel more authentic. For example, if a character is feeling overwhelmed with grief, it's important to explore why they're feeling that way. Is it because they've lost someone close to them? Have they been through a traumatic experience in the past that's just resurfacing? By giving your characters a rich backstory, you can make their emotions feel grounded in reality. In The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, Daisy Faye Buchanan is the daughter of a wealthy family in Louisville, Kentucky. She's described as being beautiful and charming with a voice that is full of money. Daisy is raised in a world of privilege and luxury, and she becomes accustomed to a life of ease and comfort. She meets and falls in love with Jay Gatsby, but their relationship is ultimately cut short when Daisy marries Tom Buchanan, a wealthy and arrogant man from a similarly privileged background. Daisy's marriage to Tom is unhappy, and she becomes increasingly disillusioned with the shallow and empty lifestyle of the wealthy elite. Despite this, she is unable to break free from her social constraints, and she remains trapped in her gilded cage, if you will. Throughout the novel, Daisy's backstory is hinted at, but not fully revealed. The reader is left to imagine the details of her past and the events that have led her to become the woman that she is. However, it's clear that Daisy's upbringing and social status have played a significant role in shaping her character and emotional responses. She's a wealthy socialite who's portrayed as vain, self-centered, and superficial. She's often seen as an object of desire by the male characters in the novel, but her emotions and motivations are often unclear and difficult to understand. She's prone to sudden mood swings and emotional outbursts, and her behavior is often irrational and illogical. Daisy's emotions are seen as shallow and unrelatable to many readers. Her obsession with material wealth and social status is portrayed as a symptom of a larger cultural malaise, and her emotional responses are often seen as a reflection of the emptiness and shallowness of the society in which she lives. While Daisy's emotions may be seen as unrealistic and exaggerated, her portrayal can be seen as a commentary on the dehumanizing effects of consumer culture and social status. Her emotional responses are a symptom of a larger societal problem, and her character can be seen as maybe a cautionary tale about the dangers of living a life defined by superficiality and materialism. When it comes down to it, we authors need to show not only the emotions themselves, but also the aftermath of said emotions. In real life, big emotions don't just disappear once the moment has passed. There are consequences, both immediate and long-term, that need to be explored. So maybe a character lashes out in anger and later regrets their actions, or maybe they're struggling to cope with the fallout of a big decision they made while in the grip of strong emotions. By exploring the repercussions of big emotions, we can create a more complete and satisfying emotional arc for our characters. So continuing with the example of Daisy, we see clearly throughout the story that her emotional responses have negative consequences for herself and for those around her. Her shallow and self-centered emotional responses cause her to act in ways that are hurtful to others, and her fear of social disapproval leads her to make decisions that are not based on genuine emotion or personal conviction. So this kind of serves to underscore the author's larger themes of the novel about the destructive power of wealth and social status, and the way in which these values can corrupt and distort human emotion and behavior. Ultimately, writing characters with big emotions requires a careful balance of realism and impact. We want our readers to feel deeply invested in our characters' emotional journeys, but we also want those emotions to feel authentic and believable. By exploring the nuances of our characters' emotions, considering the context in which they're occurring, and exploring the consequences of their actions, we can create emotional experiences that both feel impactful and grounded in reality simultaneously. Want some free resources that can help you become a better writer? Check out the link in my profile. Have questions about writing more relatable characters? Leave a comment below or send me a message. Want to stay in the know about writing more realistic stories and more relatable characters? Hit that follow button.